Civil War, the movie, just came out yesterday. This trailer dropped for this movie a few months back and had everyone really intrigued at first, with the timing of it coming out. Just we're about 6 months, a little more than 6 months away from the election, which is going to be one of the most contentious elections in the history of this country. And so when people saw this movie, it kind of really seemed like this was perfect timing for this movie. Like, it was going to address a lot of the concerns that are going on in the country right now and kind of serve as a warning for what not to do and what we should avoid happening going forward in real life. So if you were going into the movie having these questions, why are they fighting? What are the motivations of either side, whether it be the U.S. government or the states that seceded? What states have joined which sides and why? What political issues have caused this civil war to happen? What is the strategy for either group to win the war or the strategy for attacking a certain place? If you had any of these questions going into the movie, they will not be answered. The plot of this movie is one of the most surface level things I've ever seen, and this is not even an exaggeration to say they kind of throw you into it going, here's the civil war that's happening, and then there's just, here's a fight that's happening. Here's something that's burning. Here's another thing that's burning. Every few scenes, they just have a sad, dramatic shot of something in the distance burning. But they never stop to answer the question, why? Why is this group attacking this strategic location and killing them? What caused this thing to burn? Why is there a bomb dropping? Why are there people fighting? They just don't go into any detail on it. You just go, civil war. Civil war, I guess. It was just weird. Like, they didn't address anything, and they played it so safe as to, I guess, not offend anybody, but I think that's even more offensive because it just doesn't do a good job of explaining how that could actually happen. It's not realistic at all. The story follows a bunch of journalists, right? And that's the whole perspective of the movie, is from a group of journalists that are kind of going through the war and embedding themselves in different, military groups, whatever. I don't think there's a single character that is named in the whole movie besides the journalists, which is just strange. And I don't know if, I really don't know if their strategy here was to kind of just make a blanket statement of here, let's do some imagery of, of what a civil war could look like, and kind of just push people to scare people away from what could the horrors that could potentially happen. But they don't really go into okay, what caused this? What issues caused this problem to happen? And what could be done differently to make sure that doesn't happen? It's just nope, civil war, here you go, fighting, boom, 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 boom. It's it's the stupidest thing ever. The only sort of plot or answer that there is to that is at the very beginning of the movie there, they say that the president is a 3-term president. We also always thought, once we saw the trailer, California and Texas working together, that doesn't make any sense. And then the creators of the movie released a map showing that no, California seceded, became its own country, Texas seceded, became its own country, and then there was the Florida alliance of a lot of the southeast states. And so everyone was okay, I guess, yeah, it makes sense, Texas and California wouldn't team up. There's literally no world anywhere where California and Texas team up to be the same side fighting against the U.S. government. It makes zero sense. And then you get into the movie, and actually that is exactly what it is. They're just combined, for the two of them are the Western forces fighting together, going to attack D.C. Okay, why? What is the motivation? What caused these two states to have the same issue with the federal government, and enough that they would work together and go fight them? I just don't get it. I guess they didn't want to make a political statement, but that's not what this movie should have been. Not to say that it should have been we hate this side or we hate this other side, but just be objective. Be objective about what the issues were that would have caused something like this to happen if it was real. So it's just it's a strange movie. There are a couple parts that are shocking, and not necessarily in a bad way, like the way that you want to be shocked in a movie, because the sound design in the movie is very aggressive. Like, they do not hold back at all on, like, gunshots, explosions. Like, it's loud, and it scares the shit out of you, especially when you're not expecting it. And there was a couple of shocking moments where, like, people are just getting shot, and you're like, oh, whoa, whoa, because it's very loud, very loud. But other than that, like, there was nothing, like, really gripping about the movie. I mean, there is a story within the group of journalists, like, about their own personal story, but I don't think that's what people wanted to see. Like, I can see possibly, like, where their message is, like, these are, like, the regular people, and this is what happens to them, but I think people wanted to understand, like, the politics of it, and see, like, why certain people did this, why and how a military group formed up against the United States government enough to fight them and win. So they just did not do that at all. This tweet right here pretty much sums it up perfectly from The Little Platoon. Alex Garland, who's the director of the movie: I'm going to make a film called Civil War. The premise is America is divided into 4 warring factions, and there's, a civil war. Average Joe. Wow, man, that's risky in today's climate, but hey, it might pay off. There's a really important message there, I bet. How are you going to handle, like, the politics of it all? Are you taking sides, or is this a man's inhumanity to man kind of thing? How did America split? Is it a warning? About what? Is there a lesson? What are you going to say with your movie? Alex Garland. No. And that perfectly describes it to a T. All of these questions that would have been important in a movie like this are just ignored completely, as if they don't exist, and it's bang, bang, shoot, shoot, bad side on both. Okay. I mean, maybe there's a slight thing where you go, okay, Civil War would be bad, like, things would get destroyed, but why is New York City blowing up? Who's attacking it, and for what reason? So, yeah, I mean, if you want to go see it, have your own opinion on it. I mean, it's an okay movie overall, but for what it was supposed to be, I would say it's pretty crap. So, thank you so much for watching this. Let me know if you've seen the movie, if you have any thoughts about it down below, and I will see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this and would like more content like it. Talk to you soon.